Advertisers spend billions of dollars each year trying to curate and cultivate the perfect ad. Something that will make you think that their new product will solve all the problems in your life. It is new, it is unlike anything else. You will be missing out so much if you don't own it. And more than once, I've fallen for it. Today, I'm gonna talk about some purchases that were not worth the money. By the way, I'm Sarah, also known as Budget Girl here on the internet, and I make videos every single week on how to manage your money on any income, pay off debt, and live the life of your dreams on less. I give tips every single week on how to waste less, earn more, and save time. And if you were about that, I would love it if you liked this video and also subscribed. So today's video is actually a collaboration with some of my favorite frugal YouTubers, Lydia Sen, Freedom in a Budget, Wendy Valencia, and The Budgeting Wife. I will link their videos down below. They're also about that saving money, making more, saving time kind of life. So let's jump into some of my biggest money misfires. So the first thing that I have wasted money on, not once, not twice, but 3 times, I believe, is Fitbits, or like step tracking exercise watches / wearable pedometers. Now, before everyone goes to the comments and be like, honey, you need those, you should try that again. I have spent a couple $100 on these over the past few years, but they seem to break constantly, are far more expensive than is necessary, aren't very accurate, and are a pain to replace. I can't even find my little Fitbit, but their customer care is definitely trained to not replace them unless you bought them somewhere official. So Amazon, Walmart, none of those places count. And if you can't find your paperwork, often they won't replace it for you at all. I'm also personally not super motivated by seeing step numbers. If anything, I'll more likely see that I like walk 6,000 steps that day and then use that as a way to justify not going to the gym. Instead, I now look at the steps that record in Apple Health on my phone. I believe that most phones now have some sort of health app built in, and it's not hugely accurate, but neither was anything else that I've tried. This just wasn't worth it for me. However, if a fitness tracker works for you and you use it all the time and it motivates you, please feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. By the way, I wanted to mention that buying exercise equipment often feels like great progress towards a health goal when really all you've done is spent money. Buying equipment should make an exercise habit you've already established be easier, better, or take you to the next level, not replace your efforts. A watch won't make you do exercise. Alas, you still have to do that. The second thing I've wasted money on, twice, is a set of non-stick pans. Yes, we're going to keep talking about things that I was stupid enough to do multiple times. So these sets, each time I spent like $60 to $100 on these at Walmart, and it was a set of like 7 to 8 pots or pans, which seemed like such a good deal, especially since they're pretty expensive piecemeal. Now this is kind of in college, a couple years post-college learning, Sarah. And it's a classic case of quantity versus quality. So these pan sets are often such low quality that they start to break immediately. The non-stick coating comes off in your food, which that's gotta be not great for you. The handles like jiggle dangerously or come off completely, and you only actually end up using 1 or 2 pieces from the set. And I may have only touched the ones that I didn't use often to like wipe the grime off of and clean when I moved. I currently use a large skillet that can also go in the oven for about 70% of my cooking, along with a Dutch oven and a medium-sized pot for pretty much everything else. Honestly, for most things, you need a skillet, a sheet pan, a pot, and you'll be just fine. I now buy the nicer brands when things need to be replaced, and I'm patient to get good deals. My skillet, which gets used literally every day, sometimes twice, was about $50 on sale during the holidays at Kohl's. I'll link some options that are similar to mine below. The best places to get high quality but inexpensive cookware are Goodwill, which is wonderful for cooking items, if you're willing to be patient, because people often just kind of throw all of their pots and pans out when they move or decide they have a different style now or something. I don't know, but I found a Calphalon really good, really heavy duty saucepan for $5 recently, and I've now been using that almost exclusively, and I was able to get rid of my old nonstick one. Another great place to get really good discount cookingware is stores like Ross or TJ Maxx. Honestly, I don't need 5 pots with slightly different quart capacities or a large flat griddle just for pancakes, because I can use my skillet for that. Even for large gatherings, I've never needed 8 pots and pans, and my stove will only fit 4 anyway. Consider what you actually use and need and invest in those pieces. They last a lot longer that way. Number 3, ridiculous travel luggage. I, once again, did this twice. So when I was a high school senior, I bought a 3-piece suitcase set from an outlet mall. I thought that I needed a real luggage set for life as an adult, and it felt like a smart purchase that time. It was $100. It was white with red toile print on it. And it literally only got used when I moved for the next 5 years. They were really bad quality, a pain to store, and very slowly fell apart and disintegrated. Boxes would have been a better choice, or plastic tubs. It wasn't a good choice or a good investment, and I could have spent that $100 on almost anything else and been better off. Not having learned my lesson, a couple years after college, I spent about $60 on a leather or suede duffel bag. What happened was I probably saw someone carrying one in a movie and thought it was so much cooler than like a wheeled suitcase. I pictured myself with it like slung around my shoulder abroad, or passing people in the airport as they drag along their suitcases. And I think I even thought, if I was ever abroad and there were like cobblestone streets, wheels would be a pain, but I would be cool with my like leather duffel. Well, I've still never been anywhere with cobblestones or unsuited for a wheeled suitcase, and that included camping in the woods. I also figured out after that trip, where I stuffed about 45 pounds of clothing and junk into that leather bag, that people move their stuff on wheels for a reason, because I could barely carry that thing. It was impossible to get up over my head into a bin because it was like weirdly shaped and had no structure, and hefting that thing while traveling was one of the dumbest things I've ever done. My shoulders still may not have recovered. I go to a chiropractor now, and it all might have started there with me trying to haul 45 pounds worth of clothing across like one shoulder through an airport. By the way, go ahead and like this video if you've ever seen an idiot that was once me going through an airport with a piece of luggage that was completely unsuited to travel, and subscribe for honesty. Because who else is gonna be this honest on the internet? I don't even know. So I actually travel fairly often now, and I only have one carry-on suitcase, which was bought at a dirt cheap for $20. It is hard-sided and is held up for 5 years now under heavy use and many, many trips, both checked and carried on. While it may need to be replaced eventually, I'll definitely get another hard-sided 4-wheeled case in a non-black color, because it being blue has helped me find it a lot. The 4th thing that was not worth the money was lots of regular nail polish to do my nails with, which are currently unpolished. So this may just be me and my body chemistry, but I have never been able to go 2 full days without chipping my nail polish, regardless of whether I did it or it was done from a professional manicure. Once they are chipped, I no longer feel fancy or polished. It's just a countdown until they're so damaged that they look awful and I have to remove the polish. That point, by the way, often does not align with whatever spare time I have that's needed to remove the polish, so I walk around feeling really crappy and like insecure about my hands. Now I've gotten gel manicures twice this year, once for a cruise to Mexico and again for FinCon, and both of those were really great times to treat myself. But at $25 to $35 for a gel manicure, it's a rare time that I am able to justify that cost, and I'm definitely not willing to do it regularly because I have other plans for my money. Check out the video on what my next big money goal is down below. It's super fun. and I definitely didn't save up to a 50K net worth by spending $30 a month on a manicure. I'll also link that video down below so you can see what I actually spend my money on. So what I do is when I want to do my nails, I use a home gel manicure kit and polishes instead now. It costs me less than $30 total, and after a bit of practice, I can do a nice looking home manicure that lasts at least a week. Straight up, I'm not the biggest fan of the damage it does to my nails, so I leave them bare more often than not, but the mental peace of knowing that the work put in on manicure will last at least until the next weekend is wonderful. Also bonus, when you use gel, there's no dry time, so you can get back to your life as soon as possible and not wait an hour like trying to for your nails to fully dry and harden, because I always screw them up. So I will link below all of the gear I use to do my nails at home, the products I have been using and I'm really happy with. So if you would like to check those out, those links will be down there. The fifth thing that I have wasted money on, at least 5 times, any shoes without support. So I've literally wasted thousands of dollars at this point in my life on shoes, and I honestly hate that about myself. It's like a shame that I carry around all the time. Starting from my teens and my 20s, I would stock my closet with a bunch of the flimsiest Payless flats in all of the adorable colors and patterns. These shoes, which were like $15, were literally made of cardboard on the sides and would fall apart the moment they got wet. There was no support, no padding. Your foot was literally 1/8 of an inch of like a little bit of fabric and cardboard from the ground. Of course, these hurt like hell after walking for more than 1,000 steps and only lasted about a month, but as I had about 7 to 10 pairs, I didn't feel like they died so quickly because I would rotate them. I also wore them far past the point of death. I even wore them as a newbie reporter, trekking literal miles in any weather, possibly doing horrible damage to my feet in the name of looking like a professional in an affordable way. Eventually, I learned to buy shoes with support, but I didn't learn to avoid heels. I was buying nicer Clarks and similar brand shoes, which supported my body at work and last a long time. But then I'd try to increase my shoe options by buying shoes or boots that had a slight heel. And every single time I would only last a couple hours in them. And then they would go in my closet forever, at least until I threw them out or donated them. I'm honestly not sure why I tried to convince myself that a small heel was fine. But I was convinced that by spending $60 to $70 on shoes, they wouldn't hurt, which was wrong. These purchases were a far larger waste of money than the cheap flats, because not only was it more money lost, but I wasn't getting any use out of them at all. At least the flats, they got used and used up. I am just not a heel person. I am a heavier woman, and shifting all of my weight forward onto the balls of my feet creates an uncomfortable and unsustainable walking condition for me. When I'm wearing heels, even wedges or low heels for a couple of hours for a special event, it's hard to concentrate on having fun because all I can think about is the foot pain. It's just not worth it. And throwing money at something that has been unsuccessful for me 100% of the time is just idiocy. And one day, hopefully, they will make boots without a heel for people like me. Like women's boots, why do they always have to have a heel? Why? I also wear a size 11, which makes my life even harder. Number 6, a $300 pair of glasses from Lens Crafters. Now, I don't have a specialty prescription. These were like normal glasses. They weren't like Gucci or something. They were just what was at the store. And at the time, I was in high school and I didn't realize that some glasses stores were more expensive than others. And I just went in and I bought a pair that I thought looked good. And that was an insane amount of money that I did not have to spare, by the way. I now only buy glasses online and I save so much money. I'll put a link below to one of my favorite online glasses retailers. This video is not sponsored, but I'm a big fan. And finally, number 7, a refurbished MacBook without a warranty. So not even that recently, I bought my first MacBook, or first like non-phone Apple product off of Amazon, and it was a reconditioned, refurbished item. I spent $1,000 on it, and after 1 year, the logic board broke, and it would have cost $900 to fix it. After being extremely mad at Apple for making it so that their products are basically impossible to fix at a low cost because you have to order everything through them and they make everything like fuse together, and deciding that I still needed them because that's the main thing that I use for my videos, I bought a replacement through a legitimate Apple retailer and also sprung for the 3-year guarantee. Straight up, Apple has us over a barrel, but if you're going to use them, it is worth the cost of the inevitable repairs that would be too pricey without it to get the warranty. And I'm not a fan of warranties in general because almost no one uses them. They're just an additional tax on the item that honestly the company should stand behind. But with Apple, you pretty much have to if you're gonna participate. And for now, I'm continuing to participate. So that was 7 things that were not worth the money, and now hopefully what I am doing instead. I would really, really love to hear from you what things you've bought that were not worth the money. If you disagree and you've bought one of the things that I have and hated, and it's totally worth it to you, I would love to hear why. Don't forget to go to my friends' videos. I cannot wait to see what they have bought, which has not been worth the money. That's one of the things that we kind of talk to each other about online and like warn each other of, because we're all very, very interested in like getting the best deal and bargains. So I think those are gonna be really fun. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you subscribed. I talk about ridiculous money things all the time, often at my expense, but I do it so that you guys can avoid making the same mistakes that I have, and we can all get better with money. And if you like saving money, I would love it if you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.